Hi there, Alex here at mixinglessons.com. In today's video, we're going to talk about making your tracks louder using a limiter, which is a process that you would usually go through at the mastering stage. So you might have noticed that your mixes, before they've been mastered, will probably not play back as loud as any mastered tracks that you compare them to. And even if you were to try and turn your tracks up as loud as you could before they peaked, they probably still wouldn't get as loud as a mastered track would. And the reason for that is that those mastered tracks will have been through this process of limiting. And so I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. Before we dive in, if you make music in a home studio and you want to get a bit of a head start, then head over to mixinglessons.com/free-downloads and download your free EQ cheat sheet, your free compression cheat sheet, and your free vocal recording guide. Okay, so what is a limiter, or what is the process of limiting? Well, in mastering, we use what's known as a brick wall limiter. Now, a limiter is essentially a compressor with a really high ratio. And so a brick wall limiter will generally have a ratio of infinity to 1. And it's also able to what we refer to as look ahead. And so it can see the peaks that are coming up, and it uses this infinity to 1 ratio to basically make sure that your audio cannot peak above a certain level. And in turn, by limiting the loudest point that the song can peak at, you're able to raise the overall level of your song. So the way that limiters are controlled varies between designs, but probably the most common design that you'll see is one which has a threshold parameter and a ceiling parameter. And the threshold parameter sets the level that the signal will be limited to. So nothing will be able to peak above that point. But crucially, the threshold parameter is also tied to the output gain. So as you dial down the threshold to increase the amount of limiting that's been applied to the track, you also raise the limiter's output level. And the maximum output level is then controlled by the ceiling parameter. So let's have a look at this in action. So you can hear there that as we lowered the threshold, the track got louder. I'll show you that again. So what's happening is anything that tries to peak above this point is limited to this point. So it can't get any louder than this point. And you can see there that some gain reduction has been applied. So one of the peaks was turned down by 2.8 decibels to make sure that it didn't go over that threshold. Now, at the same time, as I dialed the threshold down, the output of the limiter rose up. So the track got louder. And then the limiter's maximum output level is being controlled by the ceiling parameter. And so this is how you use a limiter to raise the overall level of your song, but also to make sure that it doesn't peak above a certain point. Now, obviously, with this process, we are reducing the song's dynamic range. So by not allowing the song to peak above a certain point, we are losing the loudest moments, and we are squashing those down closer towards the quieter moments. So there's a compromise, and you have to find the balance that works for you and for your music. The more you limit those peaks, the louder you can make the overall level of the song. But, of course, by limiting those peaks, you are reducing the dynamic range of the song. And so that's the compromise that you have to be aware of. Generally speaking, the louder you make your tracks, the less dynamic your tracks will have to become. So I hope you found this useful. If you've got any questions, please leave a comment and I'll do my best to help you. Don't forget to head over to mixinglessons.com/free-downloads for your free EQ cheat sheet, your free compression cheat sheet, and your free vocal recording guide. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel for future videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.